In this video, we examine the potential benefits of badges and microcredentials for three key audiences: issuers, earners, and consumers. In the badge canvas that we introduced earlier, the background badge thinking section provides space for reflecting on the value of your badges and microcredentials from these three perspectives. As an issuing organization, how will this help your institution or the smaller part of it that is actively engaged? Who is the audience for earning your credentials? How will they help them achieve their goals? It's also very important to think about the viewers, more commonly called consumers of your microcredentials. The largest group of these will be employers, but this category also includes professional bodies and quality assurance agencies. How will your solution meet their expectations and their needs? Here's a resource that can help you with your thinking. In 2021, JL4D, the Journal of Learning for Development, published an overview of the state of play in the world of microcredentials. The paper, prepared by Dublin City University, provides a good listing of stakeholders and their concerns. I've grouped them here in the three categories from the badge canvas. What's at stake for these stakeholders is generally what you might expect, but it's worthwhile to point out that the key audiences will be learners and employers, and learner demand for microcredentials will in large part depend on employer demand. Demand is a key word here. Can the pull from employers and other consumers match the push from the issuers of microcredentials and the earners who want to share them? I've taken the liberty of adding another kind of stakeholder, which is funders. This can include government agencies and departments, but also charity foundations. These stakeholders will want to evaluate the return on their investment, which may be measured in pedagogical, economic, and social terms. I'm classifying them as sponsors here because they share some responsibility with the issuing organizations that they approve for funding. Later in the same paper, the authors provide a useful chart of potential benefits for the three types of stakeholder. As you complete your badge canvas, we suggest you refer to this chart. Again, we've added some commentary to DCU's excellent work in the spirit of Creative Commons. For example, in appropriate situations, learners may be able to earn microcredentials by having their prior learning from experience assessed. This can be very authentic and empowering for the learner. Helping learners visualize their learning journeys and begin to take control of mapping them is also empowering. Regardless, earning microcredentials helps all learners build their reputation and digital footprint, which can lead to greater connections and opportunities. Employers can also benefit from mapping the skills of their workforce and from curating learning from many sources to reduce the waste of duplicated training programs. Microcredentials can also be used to capture the experiential and social 70+20% of our learning that is informal, and as part of that, perhaps discover skills that are currently invisible or new skills that are emerging out of new ways of working. For educators, attracting new students is great, but it can be even better to bring back former students who have transitioned into lifelong learning. Along the way, the institution is building its brand in an authentic, transparent fashion. Finally, some jurisdictions are already moving to permanent funding models for microcredentials, including New Zealand, Ontario, British Columbia, and Australia. This trend should continue to spread to other regions around the globe. As a final note, the authors make the point that collaboration between educators and employers can benefit both parties and can lead to even deeper collaborations down the road in areas such as applied research. Another paper that is useful is this Learner Value Framework from Beverly Oliver in the Journal for Teaching and Learning for Graduate Employability. She submitted it as a provocation for further discussion toward an accepted framework. As Beverly explains in her paper, the value of a microcredential is framed in an economic cost-benefit approach as a value proposition. Cost is measured in money and time and can be balanced against benefits, of which there are 8, listed here as outcomes. It's interesting that Beverly adds personal interest as a perspective in addition to career advantage, which is the dominant perspective. It's a reminder that our value as humans is more than what we do for a living, but there can certainly be crossover between personal interest and career. Also interesting is Beverly's suggestion that issuers try to know and understand as much as possible about the targeted learner in terms of their motivation, educational background, and current circumstances. All of these factors will color their perceptions of costs and benefits. Many of these learner characteristics will be individual to the learner, but there are also commonalities in larger audiences that can help you as you brainstorm what kind of micro-credential you could provide and how it might be offered. I encourage you to download these resources and adapt them to your own particular context as you work through your background badge thinking in the Badge Canvas.